Hi everybody. Sorry it's been a while since I had my last vlog, but wanted to make sure that I got one out today since we're going to be stuck inside for the next day or two. Today's topic that I kind of want to discuss, it feels like it keeps coming up, so I felt like I really needed to talk about it, is this idea of like how our relationships change as we change and as we start to make maybe some healthier decisions, or work out, or we're losing weight, how some of the people in our life can kind of react to that, and how that may not necessarily stunt what we're doing, but kind of maybe surprises us or makes us feel bad about some of the things we're doing. And this can be anybody. This can be anybody in your life. Maybe it's just a friend who is having a hard time adjusting because you're not going out to that buffet, or you're not going out drinking as much with them, or maybe it's your spouse who really just doesn't want to be on that path with you. They're okay with where they are right now, and as you're making those changes, it's become a struggle between you and them. It could also be like maybe your mother-in-law, or it could be your sister or your brother. It really can be maybe even just somebody you work with. It can really be anybody in your life. What I would suggest for this is, first of all, keep doing what you're doing, and then realize that all relationships change over time. This doesn't mean, oh my gosh, I need to give up on this relationship. They're horrible. They're superficial. They're treating me horribly. You just have to understand that maybe what you're doing is kind of putting some pressure on them to be thinking about some of the things that maybe they've wanted to do but they aren't doing, or they don't have the courage to do. So make sure that you're thinking that it's maybe a little bit more about them than it is about you, and try to keep doing what you're doing. And also, sometimes if it's like a spouse or something like that, definitely maybe have those conversations if possible. But otherwise, just realize that in all relationships, those changes have to take effect. I know for me, there was a couple of examples that I'm going to give. The one is when I went through a drastic change and basically stopped drinking alcohol altogether. This was years and years ago. Definitely lost some friends during that time, because that's kind of the friends that I had, and that's kind of what we did, and we built our relationship on. And then other friends I kept from it, but our relationship had to change, and it all worked out okay. And I made new friends that were kind of more along they aligned themselves a little bit more with what I believed in, and it worked out fine. And it's just realizing that that's kind of what life is about. It's constantly changing. You're constantly evolving, and that's okay. And that those decisions that you're making don't get kind of stumbled upon the fact that, oh, that person's treating me differently because I've lost this weight, or I feel like they're giving me a hard time. Like, why aren't you coming out to lunch with us? Why aren't you eating these poor foods? I know for me, I always am like high maintenance when it comes to restaurants and things like that, and I'm ordering particular things, and I'm really picky, but I kind of just have to let that stuff go, and people will say things, and I'm just like, yep, that's just me, and this is how I take care of myself, and it makes sense for me. So, and you just start to get over those things, and you realize that when they're speaking, it really has more to do with them than it does you. Another example is, and this is a little bit different than maybe like a food issue, but like when I was going through my divorce, I remember a lot of people being like, oh, this is so horrible. I can't believe you and Tom aren't going to be together anymore. And for me, I kind of saw it a little bit differently. I was like, oh, we're definitely going to have to be in a relationship, especially since we have 2 kids. But the relationship just has to change. So I didn't necessarily lose him. I just lose that, maybe that romantic aspect of it. But we certainly still have a relationship. And maybe that's how you can view it. If you have a friend, or maybe a mother-in-law or a father-in-law, or someone in your life that you don't necessarily need to, well, I need to get rid of them and they need to be out of my life. Well, no. It may just have to change. It may just have to look a little bit different. Maybe that chapter in that book has to change a little bit, and your reaction to them, and maybe it's just maybe not even a topic that you can talk about. Maybe not food and exercises. Maybe you just change the topic, and if they bring it up, you just say, hey, this is kind of what I'm doing, and I feel really good about it. And so you just kind of go from there. But I wanted to make sure that I talked about that today, because I know people struggle with that. I know there was a couple people even in one of my groups that said that it actually, they feel like it stops them from being healthy because it has such a negative, they're getting such a negative feedback from it. But I'm telling you, don't do that. Don't do that. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep making good decisions and working out and eating properly and doing all those things to take care of yourself. And you'll find that you're going to attract those people that, different people maybe into your life, and those other people, maybe they'll fall to the side, or that relationship will have to change. So, but definitely stay motivated. Keep doing what you're doing, and realize that you're doing it for you and you're taking care of you. And you'll see that the people that are supposed to be in your life will be there, and the people that are kind of, that relationship's supposed to change, that'll happen as well. Anyway, I hope that helps a little bit. I'm definitely going to try to keep up with these vlogs more. Sorry, I was kind of having some computer problems. So definitely going to try to do this at least once a week. And yeah, and post something. If you want me to talk about something, I like feedback, and I like people telling me like, hey, talk about this topic or this topic. Because sometimes we need a little bit of help in certain areas. All right, well, have a good snow day if you're snowed in. All right, take care. Bye.